Good day, everyone. Today, our group is going to present all about Japan.
Japan. So, number one, a brief description of the area. It is known as the land of the rising sun. Japan is a sovereign island nation in East Asia, a stratovolcanic archipelago consisting of about 6,852 islands. The population of 127 million is the world's 10th largest. Japanese people make up 98.5% of Japan's total population. So they have very few expats and immigrants. And approximately 9.1 million people live in Tokyo, the capital of Japan. Japan is a member of the UN, the OECD, the G7, the G8, and the G20, and is considered a great power. The country has the world's third largest economy by nominal GDP and the world's fourth largest economy by purchasing power parity. It is also the world's fourth largest exporter and fourth largest importer. The country benefits from a high skilled workforce and is among the most highly educated countries in the world, with one of the highest percentages of its citizens holding a tertiary education degree. So the Japanese labor force is known worldwide as very hardworking. Japan is a developed country with very high standard of living and human development index. Its population enjoys the highest life expectancy, and their citizens are known to live up to 100 years old and more. And they have the third lowest infant mortality rate in the world. Japan is also well known internationally for its major contributions to science and modern day technology. Like usually when we say Japanese technology, there's this notion that it's of the high quality and one of the best. Number two, a brief history of the area. Archaeological research indicates that Japan was inhabited as early as the Upper Paleolithic period. The first written mention of Japan is in Chinese history texts from the 1st century AD. Influence from other regions, mainly China, followed by periods of isolation, particularly from Western Europe, has characterized Japan's history. So from 12th century until 1868, Japan was ruled by successive feudal military shoguns who ruled in the name of the emperor. Japan entered into a long period of isolation in the early 17th century, which was ended in 1853 when a United States fleet pressured Japan to open to the West. After nearly 2 decades of internal conflict and insurrection, the imperial court regained its political power in 1868 through the help of several clans from Choshu and Satsuma, and the Empire of Japan was established. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, victories in the First Sino-Japanese War, the Russo-Japanese War, and the World War I allowed Japan to expand its empire during a period of increasing militarism. The Second Sino-Japanese War of 1937 expanded into part of World War II in 1941, which came to an end in 1945 following the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the Japanese surrender. Since adopting its revised constitution on May 3, 1947, during the occupation by the SCAP, the SCAP, Japan has maintained a unitary parliamentary constitutional monarchy with an emperor and an elected legislature called the National Diet.
Potential market size and growth for your business. The processed food sector covers a diverse range of products, from lightly processed fruit and vegetables to ready-to-eat meals. The Japanese processed food market is very competitive and sophisticated, catering for increasingly quality and price-conscious consumers. With diversified market needs for food and lifestyle products, Japanese consumers are purchasing imported food products from department stores, specialty food stores, supermarkets, and online. These consumers are willing to pay higher prices for products that promote a certain lifestyle and image or have a unique value proposition that cannot be offered by any other products. Japanese processors, wholesalers, restaurant chains, supermarkets, and premium food stores are proactively looking for new products that are safe, price competitive, and uniquely value added overseas. Consumer buying patterns continue to influence demand, procurement, and marketing. For the opportunities, the natural and organic market continues to gradually expand, opening up new opportunities. The emphasis is on natural ingredients which minimize additives and preservatives, and the demand for healthy food is increasing due to an aging and more health conscious population. In response, Japanese manufacturers are focusing on healthy, functional, and anti-aging products. The handbags market in Japan is witnessing steady growth and is expected to grow at a steady rate during the forecast period 2014 to 2019. The demand for handbags is rising in Japan with the increasing demand for affordable luxury handbags. The arrival of numerous brands and their easy availability through retail stores and online retail channels increase the demand for handbags among the consumers in Japan. Technavius analysts forecast the handbags market in Japan in terms of revenue and volume to grow at CAGRs of 3.36% and 3.01%, respectively, over the period 2014 to 2019, with the market trend of acceptance of handbags as a fashion lifestyle product.
What are the type of industries or business common in Japan? The economy of Japan is the third largest in the world by nominal GDP and the fourth largest by purchasing power parity, and is the world's second largest developed economy. Japan is the world's third largest automobile manufacturing country. It also has the largest electronic goods industry and is often ranked among the world's most innovative countries, leading several measures of global patent fillings. Manufacturing in Japan today now focuses primarily on high-tech and precision goods, such as optical instruments, hybrid vehicles, and robotics. Japanese anime industry is also facing growing Chinese competition in the targeted Chinese market. Japanese manga industry, also known from Japanese manga and anime, profession enjoys popularity in most of the Asian markets. Deposits of gold, magnesium, and silver meet current industrial demands, but Japan is dependent on foreign sources for many of the minerals essentials to modern industry.
Raw materials and natural resources. Japan was an island nation rich in some resources but poor in others. Volcanic activity brought many minerals to the surface long before large-scale mining became possible. As such, Japan became a major exporter of silver, copper, and gold, until the isolationist government banned such exports. Iron was scarce, so Japanese metalsmiths became famously skilled at working with the scarce resources they had. The amount of land in Japan suitable for agriculture is insufficient to produce enough food for Japan's large population. As a result, Japan imports most of its foods from other countries. Japan lacks many raw materials needed for industry and energy, such as oil, coal, iron ore, copper, aluminum, and wood. Japan must import most of these goods. In order to pay for these imports, Japan must export a variety of manufactured goods to other countries. Major Japanese exports include electronic equipment and cars. The goods that Japan had exported have changed over time, from agricultural products to manufactured goods, textiles, steel, and cars. Japan is no longer competitive in agriculture because it has little farmland. Today, simple manufacturing is too expensive because of the high wages paid to Japanese workers. Japan is also less competitive in energy-intensive industries such as petrochemicals and aluminum since the country has few domestic energy resources.
Risks in doing business in Japan. Well, if we do the manufacturing in Japan, first, venture capital is scarce and bank loans often hinge on personal guarantees that don't generally exist with a new company. It's a huge contradiction because in order to borrow money from the bank, you have to have a stable business, says Endo, who started Twi Twi with about $2,000 of her own savings. Second, organic food movement in Japan is progressing slowly. About 45% of the global organic food market is in Europe and about 45% in the US. The rest of the world accounts for the remaining 10% and Japan itself is just 2%. The reasons are the hot and humid climate, small-scale farming, no support from the government, and the big influence that JA or Japan Agriculture has on the industry. Most farmers get their finance, materials, pesticides, and fertilizers through JA, and it seems to be difficult for farmers to leave JA and go organic. Also, it is cumbersome and costly for farmers to get organic JAS certification, so some do not bother. Third, the supply chain in the food industry in Japan is so long, and the producer and the consumer are very apart. Other risks include Japanese eating habits. Compared with the abundant data from Western countries, evidence regarding meat consumption and colorectal cancer is limited in the Japanese population. Japanese people are one of the healthiest in the world. Their life expectancy is 80 to 100 years old. They like raw food, they like seafood. In fact, Japan consumes about 55.7 kilograms of seafood every year. And they like eating meat, but they liked it unprocessed. It should be in fresh cuts. Also, language barrier is a risk because it is hard to convince customers, suppliers, and investors. With Japan's local infrastructures, first we have the telecommunications. So they have NTT Docomo, KDDI, SoftBank, and eMobile, now transformed into Y-Mobile together with former PHS operator Wilcom and part of the wider SoftBank and Yahoo Japan group. These are the broadcast stations in Japan: Asahi Broadcasting Corporation, Fuji Television Network Incorporated, Japan Broadcasting Corporation are also known as NHK Nippon Hoso Kyokai, Mainichi Broadcasting System, Nippon Television Network Corporation, Tokyo Broadcasting System Television Incorporated, TV Tokyo Corporation, Yamagata Broadcasting Corporation Limited, Yomiuri Telecasting Corporation. Since Japan is known for their technology, it is also obvious that they have high-speed internet. So these are the internet companies in Japan. First is Sakura Internet, GMO, it is a US company, Digirock, Xserver, Lollipop, Amazon Web Services, CPI, HTML, Netlaputa, and Linode. It is also a US company. Japan's transportation. First is their railways. They have trains and Shinkansen, which is the fast bullet train. Second is airplanes. They have Narita Airport, Haneda Airport, Kansai Airport, Itami Airport, Central Japan Airport, New Chitose Airport, Kobe Airport, Komatsu Airport, Shizuoka Airport. They also have buses, cars, and most of them use bicycles. One of Japan's environmental issues is their waste management. Japan burns close to two-thirds of its waste in municipal and industrial incinerators. By some estimate, 70% of the world's waste incinerators are located in Japan. As a result, Japan has higher levels of dioxin in its air than any other G20 nation. The second environmental issue of Japan is their nuclear power. Japan maintains one-third of its electric production from nuclear power plants.
While a majority of Japanese citizens generally supported the use of the existing nuclear reactors, since the nuclear accident at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant on 11th of March 2011, this support seems to have shifted to a majority wanting Japan to phase out nuclear power. Former Prime Minister Naoto Kan was the first leading politician to openly voice his opposition to Japan's dependence upon nuclear energy and suggested a phasing out of nuclear energy sources towards other sources of renewable energy.
Number 8. Japan is a leading center for innovation, boasting a highly attractive businesses and living environment within one of the largest economies. However, a large level of local or third country competition, the number of regulatory hurdles and cultural factors can make Japan a difficult country to penetrate, which is why having a local help can be a big asset when expanding into the country. As previously stated, venture capital is scarce in Japan, and bank loans often hinge on personal guarantees that don't generally exist with a new company. It's a huge contradiction because in order to borrow money from the bank, you have to have a stable business. The resolution, the common good approach. This approach to ethics assumes a society compromising individuals whose own good is linked to the good of the community. Community members are bound by the pursuit of common good, values, and goals. The common good is a notion that originated more than 2,000 years ago in the writings of Plato, Aristotle, and Cicero. In this approach, we focus on ensuring that the social policies, social systems, institutions, and environments on which we depend are beneficial to all. Examples of common to all includes affordable healthcare, effective public safety, peace among nations, a just legal system, and an unpolluted environment. Will we pursue a business in this country? Definitely yes.